Oh my goodness. Are we live? Are we live? Oh, it looks like we're live. StreamYard is telling me that I'm live. As I look at my iPad, it looks like I am broadcasting out to the YouTube, which means we're back. We are back in the building, baby. How y'all doing? What's going on, Vibe Nation? Good to see you all again. I am so sorry that I was not here last week. I had decided to take last Friday night off. I was relaxing, playing some video games. So sorry I missed you all last week, but we back in the building today. We are back and we are live. Friday Night Viper is back in the building. Let me turn up the lights a little bit. There we go. And we can get into these Friday night procedures, baby, as we know how to do out here. Oh, yes, this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be fun. Woo! Look at that. I see the chat populating. I'm down with that. I like that. Oh, what's that? We got up here. Everybody in the building. Everybody in the building. I like that. I like that. All right. So let's go to work. Let's see what we got. Let's see how that goes. So current time, 6:33 p.m. Central Standard Time, which means you are in the right place. You are on the right YouTube channel, baby. Yeah. And for those y'all who are Friday Night Vibe veterans, you know what's about to happen next. But for those y'all that are new here, and maybe those of you who might catch the replay, this is the part of the live stream where I'm going to need you to turn your volume down. Because if you don't turn your volume down, I will not be held liable for what your neighbors think about you listening to some loud dude on YouTube. That's on you, not on me. That's on you, not on me. Now that we got that disclaimer out of the way, let me rear back, deliver the electrifying Friday Night Vibe introduction so we can get to work out here in these YouTube streets because your boy is back. We back in the building. Woo! Oh, yeah, feel good to be back. Feel good to be back on a Friday night. Woo! Oh, yeah. Whew, let's go to work. Let's go to work. Whew. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and we are Welcome to Friday Night Fight, baby! Woo! Woo! Oh, yes! It is that day again! We are back! We are live on YouTube! Woo! Oh, man! For being off a week, your boy didn't lose it. Your boy did not lose it. We are live. But before I get started with tonight's festivities, let me see who I got in the chat tonight. First on the list, we have Liz Loves YouTube. Hey, Liz, how you doing? We got my homie from the UK, Marvin Wallace. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got Drift Access Tech. What's up, Drift? How you doing, baby? How you doing? The Poet is live on Friday night. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got 504 in the cut. What's up, 504? How you doing? What's going on? We got Keep It Techie. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got Josh Quinones. What's up, Josh? How you doing, baby? How you doing? Mike McCain's here. What's up, Mike? How you doing, baby? How you doing? Ace Rock Tech. What's up, Ace? How you doing, baby? How you doing? Oh, the Apple Jockey, Alex Jackson is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got Brett Shuddy. What's up, Brett? How you doing? Oh, is that Shelly? Yeah, we got Shelly saving the day. Hey, Shelly, how you doing? Oh, of course, it would not be a Friday night fight without my head of security. He's here. He's live. They call him El Jefe Review. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, baby? How you doing? We got Eric. What's up, Eric? How you doing? And we have Angelique. What's up, Angelique? How you doing? Woo! Oh, yeah. So, I think I got everybody. Oh, no. We got more, but StreamYard is being slow. Oh, we got James Herrera. What's up, James? How you doing, baby? How you doing? How you doing, James? How you doing? So, it's going to be a special Friday night. I got a guest coming in inbound. Oh, I will introduce them when they get here. But yeah, let me make sure I got this going on real quick. Oh, wait. Samuel Vente Miguel. What's up, Samuel? How you doing, man? I'm pretty sure I butchered your last name, bro. I apologize. What's up, Samuel? How you doing, man? How you doing? So tonight we're going to talk about the creator economy because I need y'all to be aware of the opportunities that are out here for us creators. And I know a lot of creators watch my content, watch this show. So we're going to talk about the creator economy. I just need y'all to give me 1 second here so I can go into my iPhone here and send this link out to my guest tonight. So I could do that real quick. I'm going to copy the link there. We're going to go in here to the gram, go into these messages, and Booyah, link has been sent to the gram. So, yes, the guest now has the link. Just sent it to the Instagram DM. So, there are so many opportunities for creators out here in the creator economy. And I am the recipient as well, and probably some of you that are watching this live streaming right now. First off, I guess I should start off with a special announcement for those of y'all that do not follow me on Twitter. You may or may not be aware. But as of this week, your boy Viper, the man about tech, is now a creator partner with VidIQ. That's right. The most analytical tool that creators can use to help grow their YouTube channels. That's right. They are partnered live with the Viper. So if you have not used VidIQ, you're like, Viper, what's so good about VidIQ? Why should we care about VidIQ? As you guys know, I think on these live streams, we talk about TubeBuddy a lot. VidIQ is something like TubeBuddy, but VidIQ is very analytical. Basically, it helps you with your tags, titles, thumbnails, everything, even like what to put in your description. VidIQ can literally tell you keywords and things that you should have in your description. And not only that, VidIQ actually gives you like it assigns numerical ratings to keywords. So if you are trying to rank for a certain keyword, the numerical rating can help you determine how much that keyword is being searched on YouTube. And VidIQ has all these different tools. So if you guys have not used VidIQ or you want to try VidIQ out for free, you can do that. I have a link in the description of this live stream. It's basically vidiq.com/Viper, spelled as it is, Viper. Y'all know how to spell Viper. You know what it is. So if you want to try out VidIQ, vidiq.com/Viper and try it out for free. You will get the best value if you go to one of the paid versions, but you can definitely try it out for free to see if it's for you. But my special guest is here. So tonight on Friday Night Vibe, we have a marketing genius, a marketing badass, a very intelligent individual. I met her in Clubhouse. She's been doing her thing. She manages marketing for other YouTube channels. But we have to bring in the amazing. Did I say email? Why the hell did I say amazing? The amazing. That's right, Viper. Use English, Viper. English. We have the amazing Angelique Stidhum. Hey, Angelique, how you doing?
Hi. Thanks so much for having me, Viper. I'm so excited to be here. Who wouldn't be?
I am excited to have you because, especially since this subject is right up your alley. So I'm definitely excited to have you here. So thank you for joining me tonight.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Just talking about the creator economy in general, I was been talking about this all day, but this is something I can definitely talk about forever. I think it's right now, especially right now with how many new creators are coming to the platform, but just I think in general, how people see themselves as creators or the term creator being something that's exclusive to YouTube. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are creating there's a never-ending supply of what creator could mean, right?
Okay, so let's start
that could be used, right? And I think that creation is a currency that we use all over the place. And so for people to be able to understand what that means, how they can leverage that to network or to further their reach, it's important.
So let's start there. You just said that creation goes beyond YouTube. And I think that's the one thing that creators kind of get messed up. They kind of trip up on that. We think about YouTube first and foremost because it's one of the largest platforms out there, especially if you want to get your content seen. But I think a lot of creators romanticize YouTube because of their YouTube partner program and how YouTube will cut them in on 55% of their ad revenue. And no other platform has anything that's remotely close as far as having a built-in system for creators to make money just off the platform alone. But as you just highlighted, there's a whole other world out there besides YouTube. And I can speak to this a little bit later myself, having just experienced it, but there's a whole other creator economy out there that is just outside of YouTube. You got platforms out there. You got TikTok. You got Clubhouse now, Twitter Spaces, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I mean, there is so much opportunity for creators out there. So I saw you on the TubeBuddy live stream earlier today, and you were talking. You were with Marissa Romero. I think you do marketing for her channel, and you were talking about how creators, when they're trying to negotiate and do these brand deals, they often have like a narrow-minded lens when they're thinking about these brand deals. And you said something that kind of fascinated me earlier today. You were talking about how it's not just about what the creator can do for the brand or what the brand can do for the creator. It's also about what the creator can do for the brand. Because when we think about brand deals, obviously we're thinking about how brands working with creators allow brands to have access to the creator's audience. But you said that it's also about the creator potentially getting access to the brand's audience. So can you kind of elaborate on that? Because I thought that was just like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, the way that this used to go, brands would reach out for models or spokespeople to represent their product or their service. And then that's how they would be edified into other audiences, or that person, that spokesperson, that model would be exposed to the brand's audience, right? This is how this used to go. But right now, this has become the more familiar process is that brands reach out to creators and they want to only leverage like a silo, their audience, right? So the creator doesn't have any exposure to the brand's audience. It's only one-sided. And the benefit is small up front, but the brand could benefit infinite. I mean, for the amount of time that the video's up. So if the video's up forever and that link is still good, right? Then they're getting the exposure. They're getting access to your audience forever. But what do you get other than a check? And oftentimes it's a small check, the same amount that they would have paid a model. But that model, not only would they have been able to have somebody who has sales experience, like let's use an infomercial as an example. Somebody with a strong sales skills would get on this infomercial and they would like sell the mess out of this product or service, right? And of course, the brand is extremely happy. They can measure their results. This was the whole point. And they paid this spokesperson to do this. But in turn, what happened was the spokesperson got exposure too, because of the ad reach, because of the time slots that they were paying for, late night TV, whatever it was. So you saw that next spokesperson on another brand, and you immediately started to recognize who these people were. And this is how a lot of QVC stars were born, right? They're representing a ton of brands, but they were not having to generate their own traffic and audiences in order to do this, in order to get paid and in order to increase their reach, because now they have bigger audiences the more that these brands would run ads to expand their reach. So they're essentially just promoting the spokesperson as well. Well, that would be the creator today. And they're not doing that. So you are in charge of driving traffic. You're in charge of your reach. You're in charge of maintaining that relationship. And you're in charge of the whole reputation within inside of that small ecosystem and brand deal.
That is some pretty amazing stuff. And I'm not going to get too much into the nuances of what I got going on with VidIQ. But part of the agreement that I have with VidIQ is that I hold Clubhouse rooms for them, but I also am going to make some appearances on their YouTube channels and socials and things like that. So it's like a two-way deal, because obviously they get exposed to my audience that I've grown on Clubhouse, but at the same time, I can come on their YouTube channel and get exposure in front of their audience. So the brand deals that are the best is when both parties benefit greatly from the relationship. And here's the other thing that a lot of creators may or may not think about with brand deals. If you can get something that's like more than a one-off, if you can get like a recurring thing or maybe a yearly thing, that's the dream right there, because then you can have that. You have that time to sustain a relationship, and even after that deal runs out, if things go well and things like that, you can have sort of like a recurring relationship or that brand retention. Maybe they'll come back and try to work with you again or something like that. So while one-offs are good, and I know that they are necessary, uh, the ideal is to get like maybe a yearly deal or maybe a few months down the road or something like that. Doing something more than a one-off just so both parties can benefit over time.
Yeah. The other thing to consider is if you know that you can get results, then you've got a little bit more negotiating power. But I think for most creators, the question is, how do you know that you'll get results? A lot of people don't get their data. We've been discussing this at length recently, and a lot of creators just don't understand how to track these metrics. They don't know necessarily how to organize them so that they are marketable. I think that's probably the best way to put it. And just strategizing for your media kit so that you have kind of like at a snap, at a glance, just this picture of what it is that you can provide, so that when you're going in to say, okay, here's what I can do for you, and you're asking them, what can you do for me? If the only answer is a paycheck, then I believe then that's the beginning of a conversation versus the negotiation.
So let's back up a little bit, because as you know, Angelique, I have been in a lot of Clubhouse rooms, and recently I've sat in on a lot of Clubhouse rooms that have to do with negotiating with brand deals, this, that, and the other. And the main question that a lot of new creators ask in these rooms is, if I'm just starting out, how do I know what my value is? How do I determine how much to charge, this, that, and the other? And I think you were kind of alluding to it. You need data as a creator. So if you can work with a brand, what you want to do as a creator is you want to, if you can, make sure that brand is giving you access to the data as far as how many sales you generate and things like that. And if you don't have that stuff early on when you are first negotiating with a brand, then you can sign up for different affiliate programs like Amazon or different things like that. So you can compile the data that you get from Amazon as it relates to how many affiliate sales and things you make through there. And then that's information that you can also take to a brand if you're doing negotiations for a brand deal and things like that. So it's all about data and being able to get that data so you can know your value.
Yeah. I think the other thing is that 9 times out of 10, they give you the affiliate link, and then you put that in your description or, down below your video, and you refer to it at some point in your video so that you drive traffic to that. But you don't really know how many people actually clicked or how many sales you made unless you have some sort of like a commission and they have a dashboard that you can see, which would be really great. But, we discussed before, like using something like URL Genius, where you can have your own link that leads to that link, right? That way you do understand and you do have some data. It's one thing for them to tell you like, oh, you didn't really have that many sales. It's another thing for you to see like, oh, we had, this many people clicked this link, but only this many people actually purchased or converted for them. That may be a problem with their sales page and not a problem with you, right? And the traffic that you can drive to them. So that's really important. And that's something that if you have the ability to show the traffic that you can drive to a brand, then it's not on you if their sales page sucks or they can't convert people once you hand deliver that to them. Like, that's not your problem, but it is negotiation power when you move on to the next deal.
I love how you said that might not be a creator problem. It's a brand problem. If the creator can drive traffic to the link and for whatever reason, the brand is not making a sale, the creator's job is to provide traffic for that brand. The creator is not a salesman. And I think that's another thing that we get caught up as creators with sometimes. We kind of feel like we have to be salesmen for these brands. And no, that's not really our responsibility. Our responsibility is to shine a light on what the brand is offering, give you the pros and cons. Well, maybe if it's the brand, usually the pros, you don't get the cons in the brand deal. But if it's a brand deal, you give the pros, you tell the viewers how the service or product can benefit them, and you drive your viewers' attention to the brand website or link, whatever it is. Once you do that as the creator, that's pretty much it. It's over with. That's where it ends as the creator. You don't have control over if the person clicks or not. I mean, obviously you can spout out the pros and give them the ins and outs of the product or service, but like you said, Angelique, if the brand doesn't have like, or if they don't have a sales page that get people to click, then maybe the brand needs to work on that.
Yeah, there is a responsibility though for the creator, because think of it like a TV commercial. They would be able to put all the creative together, you know, style, design, the sentiment, the mood, the emotions, you know, what it is that they're trying to convey to their consumer, and then they pay for the spot, right? They're paying for the spot and they're hoping that you put together all of the creative for that ad. So essentially you are the ad at that point. And what they're hoping to leverage is that the way that you deliver your information is tailored for your audience. So they're not having to come up with like a general idea that something's overproduced, that it'll have the same amount of impact with far less effort than putting together like an actual ad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that, you know, for creators to start to think of like have more of these conversations and start to think of this a little bit differently, you don't have to have a lot of subscribers to start negotiating with brands. You don't have to have a lot of reach. If you're someone who presents well on camera and you're brand new to YouTube, then, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I just feel confident in front of the camera and I feel like I can talk to anybody about anything. So I feel like I could go talk to brands, even though my channel's 3 months old. I don't need to have a whole bunch of subscribers in order to have influence and impact, especially if you put me in front of their audience. Like, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. My job would be to show them that I can do that.
We're about to test the theory right now. I'm about to put you front and center. I need you to tell my audience the damages you have done with a channel, with how with your channel size and the brand deals that you've been able to land your. So I'm putting you front and center, Angelique. Let the people know how this works because you've done damage and you are brand new and you are doing damage out there.
Okay, I really haven't talked about all the details for the deal that we just did, mainly because we haven't discussed what we can or cannot say about this particular deal. But here's what I can say. I can tell you that at a month, maybe a month, probably wasn't even a full month into my channel, I started negotiating a multiple 5-figure deal with a brand because I knew marketing and because I had a plan and a pitch for them in regards to something that they were missing from their business and from their service that I knew that I could provide to them. So we pitched them. This is what we can do for you. Here's the win-win. They came back initially and they were like, who does this? Who would agree to this? And who are you? Why would we agree to this? To which then I sent them back another proposal that had all of this is why I'm offering this to you. And this is where you're going to be if you don't do something like this marketing wise, right? And they came back and they were like, done, we're in. And now we've got all the paperwork is signed. We're rocking and rolling. So I'm now we've negotiated probably back and forth, probably like a little over a month just to be able to iron out terms and contracts and whatnot. But we're ready to go. And what I was looking for was the win-win. I was looking for something where it wasn't just like, wow, we really, this is a big brand deal that I can go talk about. The win is like, they are going to win big time from this. So their win compared to our win, I don't know if you can compare them neck to neck just because they are different metrics and there are different factors that are involved in regards to like how we're exposed to their audience and how they're exposed to ours. And the tools and resources that we are now providing to them that they can use for their entire list of consumers. So that's what we did. And I think we are kind of changing the game when it comes to that, because we're not just trying to receive, to push out and to project to people because we got paid for something. If it's not a win-win, and if it's not something that we know for sure we can stand behind, is a value to people, and that we don't have to feel like we're selling this service, this feature to people, then we're going to enjoy it. And that's what we wanted. We just want to have fun.
Ooh, I'm so glad you talked about how if it's not something that you don't believe in, then you can't do it. Because The reason why I'm willing to do the deal with VidIQ is because I've used VidIQ. I know how good of a tool it is. So when they came to me like, yo, Viper, we want to work with you. I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. So we talked about it and we hashed it out and here we are. But I think it's important as creators that we already know how viewers are skeptical about sponsored things and brand deals and things like that anyway, because they feel like creators are selling out. So it's doubly important as a creator if you do deals and work with brands and showcase products and services that you actually use yourself and you believe in, because that stuff comes through on camera. Like some things in life you can't fake. You can't really fake authenticity. I mean, you could try, but it comes through if you're faking. So if you don't really believe in the product or service that you're talking to your audience about, they're going to see that, they're going to recognize that, and it's not going to be a good look for you or the brand. So we have to be careful as creators about the brands that we work with and the brands that we put in front of our audience, because again, as I've told you all time and time again on this channel, the number one relationship that the creator has to maintain is with their audience, with their viewer. That is the most important relationship a creator has, because the audience is what it brings you to the dance. They are what the brands are after anyway. The brands are after your audience. So as a creator, it is so important to maintain that trust and that credibility with your audience, and everything else after that takes care of itself. But that means protecting them from potential bad brand deals as well. So it's not all about trying to get all the brand deals that you can get. It's all about doing things that make sense for your audience, your viewer.
Yeah. You know, another point that I want to bring up, though, is in regards to the concept of an economy, especially with YouTubers. You know, Emily, you've had her here on with you, and I just adore her approach to things. One thing that I think it happened in your coffee talk room, right? When she and I linked up, we were like, oh my gosh, we got to do something. And it's true. Like it's see a need, fill a need. And what I saw was that now that I'm on the creator side of things, now if I was still just having a marketing agency and I was just taking clients and representing them and building out campaigns for them, I'm still thinking like a brand, right? Because I'm representing the brands out there. But now that I've been for a few years now on the creator side of things, and I can consider this part of the equation, my mind is, and my view is so much more diverse, I would say, because I can see things that I never would have been able to see before. This is why someone understanding both sides of the equation is really important. For instance, if you wanted someone to look over contracts for you that a brand has sent you, would you just call any attorney? Most people would. They would just say, are you an attorney? You have a law degree? Okay, cool. But can you look over this contract for me? But the truth is, just any attorney is not going to be able to understand how this may or may not serve you as a creator.
Right.
An attorney who's a creator, they're going to know exactly what this language is and whether it will or will not serve you. So I think that's where we are starting to form our own ecosystem of people who have each other's best interests because they understand. Hands down, that is just a factor that no one else who's not on this side of the equation can fully get. They just don't understand because they're not in it.
And I have seen over and over on Twitter, over and over again on Twitter, about how creators and attorneys alike have hearkened out to creators that it is so important that when you are doing these deals that you read the contract. Like, I think some creators out there actually don't read their contract. They're just so happy to get the deal that they sign, but you cannot do that. You have to read the contract, because you never know when a brand can sneak in some nuance that will drastically change how the deal benefits them and not you particularly as a creator. So like Angelique said, if you have to have like a friend or an attorney read over the contract for you just to make sure that it is all copacetic, then you got to do that as a creator. You got to take care of yourself, but you got to read the contract. Even if you can't get an attorney, you yourself need to read the contract and understand and make sure that there are things that the things in the contract are things that both you and the brand agree on, so you guys can make that deal happen.
Yeah. I mean, the same applies to video editing. There are video editors out there who have never edited a video for YouTube. That does not mean that they have a strategy or some idea of what would make this particular, these elements that you've given them more successful on your YouTube channel. They might make a cool video, right? But they may not understand some of the things. And so that's why I feel like it's time that we start stepping up and fully understand, start networking a little bit better so that we can understand. And hey, that doesn't exclude anyone. They can come over and start to learn, but it is important for them to understand this is different. It has to be treated different. And there are factors involved over here that you just have to know, because you just don't know what you don't know. And what you don't know sometimes can hurt you.
And to that point, I said it before in these live streams, but I'll say it again here. As creators, it's very important, especially now in this creator economy, that we talk to each other about these deals. Obviously, you're not going to get into the nuances of how much money you make and what the deal is and things like that, but just talk to your fellow creator about and give them like the overview. Like, such and such brand offer me such and such. Is this legit? Do you think I'm getting lowballed here? Can I do better? Like, talk to each other, because we're all going through the same stuff. Well, not the same stuff, but we're all going through similar things with these brands, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, the contracts are going to be the same, no matter who the creator is or what your channel size or what the case may be. Legalese is not going to change because of channel size. It's just not. So if you are a creator and you are confused about contracts and things like that, talk to your fellow creators. Or if you're confused about what a brand is offering you in a brand deal, reach out to your fellow creators that have done brand deals. I'm pretty sure there are more than a few creators that will be willing to talk to you and talk amongst each other about brand deals, because here's the other thing. The creators who don't know their value and take these lowball brand deals, you are literally hurting it for the rest of the creators out there. So I can tell y'all firsthand, the other creators out there do not want to be put in a position where these brands are trying to lowball them because a new creator is taking a brand deal for free. If you out there taking a brand deal for free, then the bigger creators are not going to be happy with you. So if you are in that position where you don't understand what's going on, you got to reach out to your fellow creators and talk to them. You got to communicate, baby, because we all in this together. That's the other thing that's kind of weird about this. A lot of creators think that their fellow creators are competition. Not really. No. You're talking about YouTube. Let's talk about YouTube alone. YouTube alone is a platform with 2 billion monthly active users. 2 billion. So there is more than enough eyes, which means there's more than enough advertising money from brands to go around to all of us on the platform. There's more than enough money out there for all of us creators to eat. So it's not really a competition between creators. So you have to be more willing to communicate with your fellow creators if there are things going on in a brand deal that you don't understand, or maybe there are some contract things that you need clarification on. Reach out to your fellow creator. You got to do that.
Conversation, right? And starting conversations, I feel like a lot of people are intimidated to do this, but I just want to bring up one more point. I think that if somebody said in the comments, I turned down some video work from the Department of Transportation because I read the contract and didn't like the infinite rights to my soul, basically. And I appreciate that, because he's like, hey, no, I know my worth. I'm not going to do it. And I get that. But they won't learn. They're not going to learn how to change these contracts and change their offer to be beneficial and to serve everyone, right? To find that win-win. They're not going to do that unless we start to change the conversation. So it's absolutely okay. If you needed anybody's permission, you have my permission to just reach in and hit reply and say, hey, can we have this part of the conversation? Here's what it is that you're offering, and here's why I have to turn this down. Until we can start to change and have those conversations, then brands are going to become more and more entitled, and we will feel like we are always at the mercy of who will offer us a brand deal and when will they offer us a brand deal and how much can we get from this. And the truth is that the market value is determined by the deals that are currently being negotiated out there. So if this person had the same deal, they said, yep, I'll do it for 500. And this person over here said, I won't do it for anything less than 5,000. What is the market value? Some people would say somewhere in between, but it's not. The market value is 500 because now that they know that people will take it for 500, they're going to go find more people to do it for 500. Now, if somebody did it for 5,000, and they got really great results, they might reconsider that, especially depending on audience size or whatever. However, if we're not having these conversations, we are at the mercy and we are out there negotiating blindly. And we have no idea what these pricing structures are actually created around, right? So I think it's okay to have those conversations so we can start to change what those negotiations look like and how to pitch to the brand versus just waiting like you're at the mercy for somebody to come and discover you. That's not where we are in 2021.
We are definitely in an age where go-getters are doing the best. You have to have the mentality and the willingness to go out there and go get what you want. If there's a brand out there that you want to work with, don't wait for them to reach out to you. Go pitch them. Go do what you got to do. Something else I've been hearing a lot, which makes a lot of sense to me, is that when you are in negotiation with a brand and they come with their initial offer, that's not the end. That's just the beginning. So if they come to you with like an initial offer or X amount of money, and you as a creator feel like that's too low, you are absolutely within your right, and you should. And the brands expect you to want to negotiate. You are not obligated to take the brand's offer, initial offer, as the Bible. And as a creator, you probably shouldn't do that because, again, then you're making it too easy for the brand. But creators have to understand that they have the leverage, especially if the brand is the one reaching out to you. If the brand came to you first, then you as the creator have the ultimate power in that brand deal because the brand wants you. They identified you. They targeted you. They want you. So if they come to you with an initial offer that you are not comfortable with, then it is definitely within your wheelhouse to negotiate a better deal if you want to do that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, James makes a great point down there about Marquez turns down 99% brand deals that don't make sense. And how many creators are out there turning down deals, right? These brands don't know what it is that they're doing wrong or why their ask is insane. And if you are building a relationship with them to just say, hey, if we can structure your offer to look kind of like this, then that would be more attractive. And let me see what I can do with that with my audience. Or I heard you had this brand deal, you had this offer, you pitched this offer to somebody else and they wouldn't take your offer, but let's have a conversation about that so we can kind of discuss and just work through some of those details so that we can help you structure that a little bit better and give you some insight to how a creator would receive this and probably why you're not getting a whole lot of, people accepting your offer. That's building a relationship. That's really important because you need relationships and you need to have relationship building skills in order to get brand deals. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
It's so funny because I remember when I was first starting out and I was reaching out to bigger creators, I kind of got ridiculed and people thought I was cloud chasing and things like that. But what I was actually doing was building relationships with my fellow creators. And I think over the past 3 years I've done this, people are finally understanding what the hell I was doing 3 years ago. And now they understand, like when I, a small creator, can have a Marquez Brownlee on my channel 4 or 5 times. Now you understand what I was doing 3 years ago. It's not about trying to get something from my fellow creators. It's all about establishing and building those relationships, which is what I've done. And the same goes with brands. If you could build relationships with brands, then it kind of makes it less awkward when it comes time to negotiate and get a better deal for yourself as a creator. So absolutely, if you are in this to be a full-time content creator, you will have to learn how to build relationships. It's not optional. It's just not optional. If you want to be successful and you want to do right by you and your audience and the brand, you have to be able to build those relationships. It is critical.
Yeah. This is my third live. And for anybody watching this, I want to say this because I think it's really important that you understand this isn't something that I was comfortable with. This is something that I had thought, gosh, they make it look easy, so maybe I could go live, right? But I like talking to people and I like building relationships. I just didn't think that I would be comfortable doing that on camera like we are right now. Here's what happened though. I decided that what my goals are more important than my fears, right? Or my insecurities. Wow. So my first time when I thought I had just started thinking like, I'm going to get myself in a position to go live. So whatever my setup needs to be, like I need to research the programs and understand how everything works so that I can do this and add this as a part of my strategy, my content strategy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get comfortable with it. And then one day I was chatting in the chat, Roberto's channel. And he was like, Angelique, come in here. Let's talk about this. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't just come in to the live. What are you talking about? And 20 minutes, I went and threw myself together and jumped on because building relationships is way more important than looking good on camera. Building relationships is going to take me way further than feeling prepared in a moment. And so today I went live with TubeBuddy. Now I'm live with you. And it's really relationships. That's what this is. These conversations, we learn so much from each other. And if you cannot even get out there to have a conversation with someone, if you can't get out there to build relationships and network with other people, then what are you doing considering getting brand deals? And how effective and impactful are you going to be with that, right?
Oh, I have not had a chance to use it for a while, but I think it applies here. Oh, shot fired! Shot fired on the podcast! Woo, shot fired! Oh, my goodness.
This is for a clubhouse.
Did y'all hear what she said? She said, if you're not willing to build relationships, then what the hell are you doing trying to get brand deals up? Woo! Man. Wow. Woo. See, this is why I wanted you on here tonight, because I knew you would bring the fire. Yeah.
You know, it's so true. I mean, you're in Clubhouse. This is a great example because Clubhouse doesn't have video, so you can jump in. You don't have to feel prepared to be in this space, in this environment, right?
Right.
But you get people that come in there and they kind of talk around in circles. You think, you know, what are they talking about? They get up to ask a question. They have a really hard time asking the question. They're not really sure of what exactly it is that they're asking. They don't even know how to really describe what it is that they're asking. They just want help, right?
Right.
They have a goal and they just want help. Normally, some of these like Q&A, I'm just talking about Q&A style rooms. It's really sad though that I think there's so much information out there that if they really are this lost and have not found some of the answers to some of these questions, why are they struggling to find those answers, those solutions, right? Mm-hmm. Are they looking for the solutions though? Or did they just hop in a Clubhouse room and decide that this was the easiest way to try to get the information because it's all about shortcuts, and actually going and researching that information would have taken effort?
Oh my Lord! She's dropping bodies on the live stream. She's dropping bodies out here. Yo, this is interesting to me because it's funny. We see some of the same people come into these Clubhouse rooms time and time again, and they ask the same questions in 5,000 ways. And it's interesting that you made that point. Like I just said, we have the same people coming into these Clubhouse rooms week after week, asking the same question in 5,000 ways, instead of going out there and actually learning and doing the thing and creating the content and figuring it out. They want to come back at Clubhouse and ask the question over and over again in different ways, like ain't gonna change. That is the literal definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Not gonna work. You actually have to take what you learned in Clubhouse and go apply it. And maybe you'll learn some new things along the way if you take that information and apply it, instead of coming back into these Clubhouse rooms week after week, asking the same damn question. Stop that. It's ridiculous.
And, you know, there's just so many opportunities out there. And I think we almost have like opportunity overload because there's just so like, I can hardly pick. If my husband says like, okay, what do you want for dinner? What do you want to eat for dinner? I don't know. I don't care. Because there's so many options that I just go like, literally just food. And, you know, whether he picks one that I actually in the mood for. And I think that's another thing that it comes down to is like, say what you mean and mean what you say. You know, if you're going to commit to being a channel, if you're going to commit to getting, you know, 1% better every single day, every single video, then you've got to put effort in to know what it is that you're doing to get better. You don't just get better on autopilot. You have to be able to understand what it is that you're doing, you know, to get different results, to change things. And that's no different than when you are out there either leveraging people's time or wasting people's time. Because here's the thing, and I did a video on this on my channel. I kind of went through talking about this situation that happened with my boys when we went to Hawaii. And my brother, it was a local, he was born and raised on the island. And he wanted to take them through like this jungle part, which was like super scenic. Oh my gosh, this place was so gorgeous. And I have clips in the video of how amazing this place was. We took the path, like it was all cleared out. You just walk on the path and then there's a little place that you get out of like the jungle. But he took them through like the thick of it. Like they had to hike and like, you know, clear out vines and whatnot. And he's a local, so he knows all these spots like the back of his hand. And this was a local spot. It wasn't a touristy spot. We wanted to have the local experience. We wanted to have the most amazing experience and the best result during our vacation, which is why we were willing to go and do things differently than most tourists do, right? We weren't just visitors. We wanted to have like a local experience, something super cool. Well, he said, leave your stuff in the car. And they didn't want to. They brought their backpacks, their phones, because they wanted to take pictures, their phones because they wanted to film for their Snapchats and Instagrams, right? He said, Uncle Dave said, leave your stuff in the car. And they did not want to listen. So what happened was he gets to the edge of the jungle because this is Hawaii, right? The edge is where the ocean is. And his plan was they were going to hike to the edge, jump in the water and then swim over to where we were. But they can't do that because they brought all their stuff with them and they weren't like in waterproof bags or whatever. Right. So now he can't get to where we are without going all the way back through where they just hiked all through. The problem is that when you go to ask an expert, someone who knows their stuff, right? Someone who's super familiar with what the process needs to be and what it is that you need to do to get the best result, you got to listen to them when they tell you. You call them up and you say, what do I do? How do I get this result? And they give you all the answers and they don't listen. And it really only hurts you. It does not hurt them. Like, think about that. They don't care whether you take the advice or not. But the problem with the situation with my kids is that he was inconvenienced at that point, right? Because he was with them. But most people aren't inconvenienced only when you come back and you go, okay, I did what you said, and now I didn't get any results. And it's like, did you? Did you really though?
You know what you sound like, right? You know who you sound like, right?
Did you really though? No, actually, I keep hearing things like that. Like somebody else said this, like when we were talking about this before over on Roberto's channel, and you guys said, yeah, Sean Cannell says that all the time. What these references though are marketing references.
Mm-hmm. But you really sound like Roberto when you were just talking about how people, you give people advice, or your uncle gave your kids advice when they don't listen. Roberto, I've talked to Roberto about how he gives people advice and they don't listen. And like you said, it's not hurting Roberto if you don't take his advice. It's only hurting you because he's trying to help you out. But if you're not listening, then that's literally on you. But you are wasting Roberto's time though, and that's another thing. And I'm a big proponent of not having my time with. If I was in Roberto's show, I'd be mad too if people are wasting my time. Don't waste my time.
Right. I'm over here in these comments. Hold on. We got stuffs going on over here. What we got going on?
Oh, we always got stuff going on in the comments. Definitely. You're making James' day better. So
that's awesome.
And Charles is talking about 5 saturation questions, which I have no idea what that means, but it sounds good. Sounds markety.
See, yeah, just negative spaces, relationships, proportion. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's relationship building, right?
We got Shelly. Shelly, did they come back with the same question again?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh God, it's so funny.
Shelly, this is why I got this, because I think in real life, if you are done talking to somebody and you really want to just be like, I'm done speaking. So even regardless of where it is, if you just bust this out of your purse,
I think I'm done.
Somebody's talking and you just give them a little.
No, she did not just say I'm done speaking. Oh my God. Wow.
And then just be like, I'm Angelique and I'm done speaking. And out.
Oh, no.
Just done.
I got nothing. Oh
yeah,
my God.
Just hand them the mic and walk away, but drop it when they reach for it. Boom. Do we have fire we can add to the screen?
Oh, I don't have any fire.
Well, I'm gonna work this out.
Oh Lord. Wait. Let me.
Okay, this is not. This is. This is fire on the screen for Shelly. That's it.
Oh God.
Don't judge me. Don't judge.
This is great.
Don't judge me.
This is priceless. See, you all are tuning in for some priceless content on Friday night. This is priceless. Okay, so we talked about brand deal, but let's talk about the different ways that creators can make money online. So obviously, if you're on YouTube, you got the YouTube Partner Program with the AdSense. That's there. You got affiliate link or affiliate marketing, I should say. You can have merchandise like T-shirts or things like that. You can start a course or make a course, or you can like have a digital or physical product and different things like that. Something that you have ownership over and things like that. What am I missing, Angelique? You're the marketing expert. What are some of the other ways that creators can make money online?
Well, I think when you say digital products, though, that gets lumped into like one statement, digital products, but really there's so many different types of digital products and services that people could offer. So that to me is kind of like a heavy, like a weighted statement, digital products. There's a lot there. Services is another one. So whether it's like the coaching or like where you are trading your time. So I think it depends on whether you're talking about passive income or active income for creators, because there is a difference there.
Oh, yes, there is.
And not all passive income is truly passive income. Like you have to maintain, your links, you've got to maintain traffic. If you are funneling stuff through an email system or an email sequence, you have to maintain the health of that. So I think passive also kind of has its own disclaimers on that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh yeah, the other things I didn't mention, like you kind of highlighted services. There are things like Patreon, but you have to, as a creator, you have to provide extra content, things like that. Or you can do what I did, starting out and sign up for sites like Buy Me a Coffee, where you can get donations if you're not eligible for YouTube monetization, different things like that. So there are a bunch of different ways that creators can make money, and you don't have to be fully reliant on YouTube and their partner programs to do that. I mean, it's just a matter of you going out and learning how it works and applying that to what you're trying to do online.
Yeah, I want to tell you what my nephew's doing right now. And I haven't even talked to him about it because I'm waiting for him to come to me. He doesn't really know what I do. And I love my kids for the same reason, because they never pay attention to what I do. I don't really talk to them about everything that I do, but sometimes we have conversations about marketing or building your brand, depending on what it is that they're doing. Like this mug. One of my kids just started a clothing line, and this is his logo. This is his mug.
Mm-hmm. Actually, let me put that on the full screen for people to see right there. There you go.
Yeah. Don't mind if I do. Go ahead and plug this Afrotech, and this is what I've been talking about inside of the coffee talk rooms. And I've been having my coffee here. He hasn't fully launched yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and have it because I just happened to have it here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I talk to them when they are interested in things, but I don't preach this stuff to them. Here's my nephew. He's been a gamer forever and ever and ever. And that is his world. That is what he knows. However, he started to lose his passion for regular income and wanted to be able to create some sort of a space for himself in the entrepreneur world. And I admire that. However, he thought that in the beginning that meant he has to game a lot in order to start making money, right? That he's going to make it as a gamer and then just start getting passive income for gaming. Like that was how it started. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like I didn't understand it at all. And this was, of course, before I was ever involved in any YouTube channel. And I was just like, look at these kids these days. Like, don't they have dreams? Don't they? And he was right, though. He did create a business for himself. He instantly saw a need that the gaming community had, and he had an interest and a passion to fill it. And he figured out a way to do that. So he created a service for himself where he is helping them build their brands, essentially, and all of the assets that they need for their channels and for their social media and any other type of, I guess it's really like just tangible assets for banners or whatever they are, right? All of those different types of graphic assets. And he now charges for those packages. So he is making a living, and he's created a little business for himself out of that. That is, he's able to scale to some degree. So I'm really proud of him. We haven't really discussed all of the details of that, but even a concept like that, that's a service.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, as we were talking about before, that's something that he can have retention and recurring customers from too, if he's really good at what he does, which I imagine he is. So anything that you can do as a creator to create recurring business is a definite win. It is an amazing win.
Yes. Yeah. So other than that, I think maybe we missed some. Maybe you guys leave in the comments. Put it in the comments if you can think of any other ways that creators can make money or monetize from their channel, not having a separate business per se.
Indeed. And while we're talking about ways to monetize the channel, let me put in my little ticker here that I have not done in a while, just to let y'all know that your boy Viper is live on YouTube, which means the super chat option is open. Again, as I tell you guys all the time, not required at all. But if you are still willing to donate to the cause, the super chat option is there for your convenience. Appreciate you guys hanging out on another episode. And thank you to Angelique for hanging out tonight on another episode of Friday Night Viper. Sincerely appreciate you.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I'm always willing to talk about this topic. I think it's important to talk about too, because there's people leaving a lot of money on the table, especially if they're talented. And I think a lot of people also, they underestimate themselves. They think, oh, well, I need to be here before I can charge, or I need to be here before I can, consider this for myself. And maybe some people do need to work on their skills. I'm not going to lie. If you feel like you might need to work on your skills, then ask somebody, because it might be true. You might have a little ways to go. I'm not here to inspire and in the wrong direction here of like putting yourself in a situation where you're going to feel like you're going to fail. Always be getting better, always be improving. But there are a lot of people out there who are super talented, really good at what it is that they do. And they just don't have the confidence to jump out there and start charging for it. And today, if you needed anyone's permission, you have mine.
Yo, let me tell you something. If it's about making bank, Angelique is your woman. She will give you the permission that you need to go out there and take that money.
Damn right, yes.
That's why we here. That is what it is. Like I said, this is the creator economy, okay? It is the golden age of the creator. There are so many opportunities out there right now for creators of all sizes. You don't have to be the biggest creator in the world to make money online right now. Like Angelique said, you can make money. Hell, as a new creator, you can make money if you know what you're doing. But yeah, the opportunities are out there. You just got to know how to go get them and be willing to put in the work to get to wherever area you need to get into.
I have a question.
What's up?
I have a question, and anybody watching this, whether I'm going to come back and check the comments to see people who watch the replay comment on this, because I really, really want to know this. Okay. DePoet's down there. He says, I make money consulting based on my creator skills in the PC area. Latest project is well into 4 figures, which is great. Like, that's amazing. And consulting is important because you're leveraging somebody else's experience, saving yourself time, and cutting all of the mistakes, trial and error out of the way just to get to the goal, right? So that's what consulting is. And that's what you're actually paying for, is for that advice. But what if you wanted to just be able to see behind the scenes of somebody's business, just to be able to analyze their data that you would never have access to because you don't have access to that data. Like, your business doesn't have those numbers coming through, right? So for me, like, I would totally nerd out if somebody showed me their email funnel and I could like dig into their open rates and their click-through rate for their email. I would be in there like white on rice, just glued to the screen. I love that. That's my jam. Emails and data are my jam. But what if, this is my question, what if you could pay to have access to somebody's data, to their channel? And I don't mean that you have access to their backend. I mean, you just have access to see like screenshots of their data for particular videos, or like a Fiverr type situation or a Patreon situation where you pay per month and you get sent the analytics from their backend. Would you pay? Would you pay to see that? Would you pay? That's my question.
You know, it's interesting because you've asked the question before. I remember you asking the same question a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And I think my answer is the same as it was back then. I don't know if I will pay, because the issue that I have with that question is that data is for that person, and it's solely based on their level, their experience, their skill set. And maybe I'm just ignorant to this, but I just kind of feel like I myself will be able to apply that data to things I'm doing, because we are at 2 different points on the spectrum. So I don't know how much value I would gain from having their data, because it probably doesn't apply to what I'm doing. But it is an interesting prospect that you will want to have that type of access.
Yeah. If somebody has a video that went viral, for instance, and they have a similar audience to you, like, you know for a fact that people that are watching your channel watch this person's channel, and they had a viral video, and your content type is pretty similar. Maybe you had a video that also was around the same topic, or let's just quit dancing around the bush here. Let's say you were title jacking. You did the same type of video trying to get the same type of results, and you want to know why yours performed differently when you know that your audience types are about the same, right? Just to be able to have their data. One thing you can't see, TubeBuddy, VidIQ, doesn't matter. What they won't show you is the audience retention. You can't see if they have 60, 70% retention or 20% retention. You can't see if they flooded the views initially because they have a huge email list. They got this huge surge of views on the first day or the first 2 days. And that's where the majority of their views came from. And then now they're trying to like whittle their way out, or if that might have helped, right? Like, if you have an email list, and if you know somebody else has an email list, when they're sending their emails out. So if you're on their email list, you're going to know, right? You're going to know when they send those out. Some people send them out the same day and they promote their videos on the same day. Some people send them out 24 hours later, within the next 24 hours. So like the next day or evening, whenever their open rate is the highest performing for them and their audience. Because YouTube is measuring the data within that first 24-hour period, right? It's pretty fragile, pretty sensitive, and they are able to have another rush of people coming to that video within that amount of time. So having an idea of how maybe some people are doing things differently doesn't mean that you're looking for like hacks per se. It doesn't mean that you're looking to cheat per se. It just means that you are understanding what the data is doing and why if they have the same audience size as you, if they have a smaller audience size than you, right? Just understanding like why this performed differently and being able to, pay $5 a month and get that kind of information, or $10 a month or $50 a month, or whatever that creator wants to charge. I think that is going to be the new way for creators to monetize. It's going to be on data. I said it a few times, but now it's for sure on YouTube, me saying it. There it is. Boom.
This is interesting because what you are essentially talking about is having access to the sauce. And we know that everybody wants the sauce. So if there are creators out there who were willing to give up the sauce, that, like you said, that could be very lucrative for that particular creator or creator. But I imagine that I don't think there will be too many creators out there that will be willing to give up the sauce. I mean, hell, they're secretive as it is already. So asking them to give up the sauce, even if it could benefit them monetarily, I'm not so sure that a lot of creators will be willing to give up that type of data. But it is interesting to think about if, like, we could have access to all of the nuances of how they get their traction, where they get it from, what they're doing, things like that. Yeah, that could be potentially game changing, depending on what's going on with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I personally don't care if anybody sees my stats. I think that I've seen so many people's stats because I see them all the time, and I get to have back end access to see things that I think most people don't get to see. But data analysts, like the ones that work for larger channels, they often work for other larger channels too. Mm-hmm. So they get to leverage this information all the time. And because they're being paid to analyze data and help make decisions and help structure the strategy moving forward, right? And the decisions that are made, they are absolutely leveraging the data across these different channels and what they know is working over here and what they know is working. I personally know some of them. So this is why I know for a fact, like at a larger scale, this is happening all the time. At a smaller scale, though, it's not. But a lot of smaller creators want to go to larger creators to get advice, and it doesn't translate the same.
Right. Because like I said, you're talking about people on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You can't do, as a smaller creator, you can't do the things that a larger creator is doing and expect the same results, because it's just two different things. You can't, there are so many variables that go into it. And some of that stuff, as a smaller creator, you just don't have the scale to be able to reproduce that the larger creator has. So you just can't do those type of things. Not to mention the fact that the larger creator is in a whole different area and spectrum. So they have more access to different resources than you do as a small creator. So it doesn't work. Now, if you were to make the comparisons to a channel around the same size as you, or maybe something like that, that might be more feasible.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, though, is that for smaller creators, creator at 500 subs who has, is pretty consistent on their channel, and they're getting, the views and the watch time. They may not be getting subscribers, but they may be getting views and watch time, because there are channel types that just do not have a high converting subscriber rate. One of those might be someone who's doing videos on how to change things in macros for Microsoft Excel, right? People are looking in that moment for a particular solution to a problem. They may not need a bunch of solutions to Microsoft Excel. So they may not subscribe, but they're going to drive a lot of traffic to that one particular video. Does that make sense?
Indeed. Charles says, it's a disruptive and a constructive way message, like in Brewster's Millions. There are reasons why the data we get and need are in different silos. It could change the passive progressive YouTube.
Okay, Charles, would you pay though? That's really the question, though. I get all of that, and it could really, this could just be extremely disruptive. I agree with that. I think that is well stated, sir. But would you pay? That is the question, and I want to know if anybody's willing to come out with it. Would you pay?
I think that people would be willing to pay if they felt like they could get the result of that other person's data that they're getting access to. If they felt like they could reproduce and get those results, then absolutely they would pay. But the question is, could they reproduce those results if they had access to the data? And that is a big question mark.
But it's $5. What if you're just $5? How many people could pay you? Like, no different than having a membership, right? You have a membership, right? People can support you, support your channel. But what if you have your membership at $5, at $10, but at $15, you're going to send out this email of exclusive content, and it's going to have some sort of metric each week or each whatever it is, but they'll pay an extra $5 for that. If you have 1,000 people paying you $15 a month, right? And all you're doing is sharing the data that you were going to get anyway. Like, you guys can pay me. Charles, you can come over here. We'll run this experiment. Whoever wants to join, we're going to see. But I promise you, there is going to be the new, like, what is it called? Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon. YouTube's going to have its own way of getting memberships in this way and sending out to members. They're going to have to, because right now you can't send your subscribers anything but a notification that you put up a new video. So you have to build an email list, and you have to start turning this into a business. And the only way to do that is to offer them value. That's it. So this is, I think data is valuable, and the amount of people that are flooding into these Clubhouse rooms asking questions, what they're asking is, can you leverage the data and information that you've been exposed to and compare it to mine for me?
Absolutely.
Think my way out of closing. Yeah. I mean, the rabbit holes are real. Yes. Valid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's the thing though. You can amass all the data that you want, Angelique, but as you well know, if you are not willing to put into work to get those results, it's for nothing. It's pointless. And I think that's another problem with creators. I mean, they can have all the knowledge, they can know what to do, they can have the data, they can know. Hell, you can lay out a roadmap for them. But if they don't make the effort to put in the work, what the hell are we talking about? It's pointless. What are we doing here? So
yeah, but it doesn't mean people won't pay. It's no different.
Oh no. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, like a gym membership.
No, I'm not arguing that they won't pay. What I'm just saying is that even if they pay, if they don't put in the work to get those results, then it's all for naught. You're paying for nothing.
Yeah, no, it's very true. But gym memberships pop up all the time, and I've not seen one close because people pay and don't come.
As she drink her tea, as she drinks the tea, oh Lord, Angelique's on one tonight. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I've not seen that yet. So I think the YouTube creator economy is just going to grow bigger.
Oh yeah.
I think that this is changing so many different lives, and the opportunities to monetize, to create and generate a fully functioning online business just with the power of video.
Mm-hmm. And again, so like I told you guys earlier tonight, I started off as a creator on YouTube, but the brand deal that I signed with VidIQ has very little to do with YouTube. Like it didn't even come about because of what I do on YouTube. They wanted to work with me because of what I've done on Clubhouse. So
we'll talk about that.
You have to think beyond YouTube. It's just not YouTube. You have to go beyond YouTube. So yeah, like I said, they came to me because they know I'm in Clubhouse a lot, and I've grown a little following in Clubhouse, and I'm always, well, in the beginning, I was in those YouTube rooms a lot, asking questions. And the funny goes, every time I step into a YouTube room, it seems like they automatically drag me up on stage and they make me a moderator like I'm from Roberto Blake or somebody. I'm like, listen, man, I am no guru. I am no expert. I've just been doing it for 3 years, so I've learned a few things along the way, and I'm happy to share my knowledge. So done that a lot, and I guess people have noticed I've been doing it. So VidIQ came to me, they're like, yo, we like watching you on Clubhouse. We like what you've been doing. How about you host some rooms for us? And like I said, we worked out the details, and now we're partnered up and we're doing that. But again, it's not really based on what I've done on YouTube. It's basically me doing things off of YouTube that got their attention. So you can't be narrow-minded and think, oh my God, YouTube. It's about more than YouTube. I mean, like I said, you got YouTube out here. There's Twitch out there. You got Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Clubhouse, Twitter, Faces. I mean, all of these platforms out there at your disposal as a creator, and you can make money off of all of them, really. So it's just, are you willing to put in the work to get recognized and on a different platform or whatever, and have those opportunities be presented to you? It's out there for you.
Yeah, and I think that's the getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Ooh, I love how you said that, because I've always said on these live streams that nothing grows inside of your comfort zone. Nothing.
Yeah. What I really appreciate about Clubhouse, and I know this is not about Clubhouse, but I think it lends itself to just the changes that we've all experienced, right? And these really are, some of these aren't going away. Like, some of these are here to stay, and we just have to get comfortable with adapting to change. There are things that are happening in this world that they're making people really uncomfortable, because we have to be uncomfortable, unfortunately, in order to change. You know, I kind of talked about this before in regards to people aren't resistant to change. They change when they see benefit or when they're super uncomfortable, and the benefit is becoming more comfortable, right?
Oh, wow.
And so if it means that you don't want to be left out, if it means that you do want to build an online business, if it means that you feel like it truly is possible, then you have to be uncomfortable. That is what you're saying. Otherwise, just stop saying it. Just stop saying it, or jump out there and do it. You know, do it scared. Clubhouse has been great for that, because you can just jump on there. Like, I didn't even know Roberto Blake from Adam. I mean, I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. Now he knows exactly who I am. It's because of Clubhouse.
She's like, he know my name. He know my name now. Yeah.
It's because of Clubhouse. And the truth is, let's say I had DM'd him before Clubhouse and been like, hey, Roberto, my name is Angelique, and I just feel like we could have a conversation about stuff. Like, who are you? Probably not, and delete, right? Because why would he go, well, maybe she's right. Maybe we could have a conversation about stuff. No, but because I leveraged the opportunity to jump on stage and to generate those, be a part of those conversations and ask questions and just be myself, right? I wasn't up there fanning out. I was up there having a conversation as myself, as I would with anybody else, regardless of who he was. I think that's where our friendship and relationships just started to form out of that, as have many others through Clubhouse because of that. And it's connection, authenticity, and opportunity. I just wasn't afraid or thinking that it wasn't possible to get up there. Did the same thing with Sean Cannell, 6 hours talking to him in a room. Most people wouldn't even get up there to ask him a question. And I got up there and I talked to him for 6 hours, picked his brain, and took full advantage of nobody getting up there to talk to him. Sure, don't get up here if you don't want. I don't care. I will sit up here and take up all this time. I'm soaking it up. I'm loving it. I'll do it.
So, as some of you all are aware, I host a room on Clubhouse every Saturday night called the Tech Tuber Lounge. In one of my earlier rooms, about a month or so ago, I was having a conversation in my Tech Tuber Lounge, and I had a bunch of big time YouTubers and other people who were up on stage. At one point, I think I was up there with Superstaff and Marquette Brownlee. I think maybe Board of Work was there, but other people were there too. Other people outside of the tech YouTube space was up there too. One of them was Aaron Greenberg, and if you all don't know who Aaron Greenberg is, you probably should if you are a gamer. He is the head of marketing at Xbox. So the head of marketing at Xbox was on a stage in one of my Clubhouse rooms. And because of that, now every Tuesday night, I am in Aaron Greenberg's gaming room on Clubhouse, chatting with him directly and other people on there, because I happen to host a room on Clubhouse where somehow he found his way into my room, and now I'm a part of his room every Tuesday night. So when he sees me in the audience, he automatically brings me up on stage every Tuesday night, and we have a chat with the other people in there about gaming and things like that. So again, you have to be willing to put yourself out there. And if it's something that does make you uncomfortable, like Angelique said, sometimes you just have to take the chance. Like she said, she wasn't really comfortable live streaming, but you know what? she said her goals were bigger than her fears, so she got it done. So if you got goals and your fears are in the way, you know what? Sometimes you got to steamroll your fears to get to your goals. It is what it is.
That's right. Yeah. And we all have excuses. I have 1,000 of them as to why I don't feel confident on camera, as to the things that I might need to do before I started my channel, right? I was supposed to start my channel in October. And before that, I said I was never going to be on YouTube. That's not for me. I'm not going to do it. If I did, however, it would have to be something that I could talk about forever. And it didn't really have to be about me. Those are my terms. Those were the only things I was willing to consider, because I didn't want to talk about marketing all the time. And primarily is because I was tired of people not listening to what I was saying. That's what my issue was. I was tired of talking to people and turning people down and having to fire clients because they just won't listen. They wanted to be in the position to make the decisions, although they had hired me to help those decisions along, and they didn't want to do what I told them to do. And I'm going, well, then it's going to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, or that hiring me wasn't worth it if you're not going to do what I said to do, right? You're like self-sabotaging this whole thing. So I just was like, you know what, forget it. And we just went to a totally different model. I've been in that situation so many times. People just don't listen. It's frustrating. And why would I want to sit there and talk to people who may not listen and just continue talking to myself about the same topics? It clicked for me that there are people out there who could never afford to hire me, who would listen. That's why I started my marketing channel, because I know what I'm talking about, and I've been in situations, and I know that when I'm able to do things and there's not a person in between me and the goal to make a decision be based off of their fears, by the way, right? Mm-hmm. Then I know what I can do. And now people can see that. So it's even more proof. But now I can help everybody. I'm not just limited to those who can afford to pay me. And I love that. Love that. Because it's a win-win. I'm not losing by doing this. I found a way to make it a win-win. James said Apple podcasting. Yeah, podcasting. That is another form. However, it's still active income, because that is still something that you have to actively like put together and curate for that platform. So I'm not going to say it doesn't qualify, because it definitely can be very lucrative. Do you have a podcast, Viper?
Yeah, I do. I've been slacking. I've been uploading one in over a month, but I do have a podcast. I'm glad you were talking about being able to reach people that can't necessarily afford you, because I think there's a stigma out there right now with people about being willing to work for free in order to get to somewhere you want to go, as far as like achieving paid work. Let me tell you all, as somebody who made hundreds of hours of videos and made very little to nothing on YouTube, and being where I am today, it is absolutely worth it working for free. Because if you can work for free to get to a level where you are good and comfortable at your craft, if you get to a level where people start noticing you and you start building an audience, if you can get to a level where brands notice what you're doing, even though you're working for free, if you're getting noticed and exposure and accolade for what you're doing in your work, then that free work can potentially become paid. So I really hope that people kind of like take everything into consideration when you think about the stigma behind working for free, because working for free could lead to some potentially life-changing opportunities.
Yeah.
Do with that information what you will.
Yeah. And I say always find the win-win, because sometimes I would do things that would be for a smaller fee or for nothing at all. If I was being exposed to an opportunity to learn something that I typically would not be exposed to. So that's also like, understand that maybe there actually is a benefit, or like a payment, essentially, a trade-off for that experience. Take it, because experience and leverage. Yeah. If you have access to software or programs because of that opportunity, or like one time I shot Phoenix Fashion Week when I was a photographer. I shot that for free the first year. And then I started getting paid, but I still wasn't getting paid as what the official Phoenix Fashion Week photographers were getting paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, my first fashion show that I shot, I was even shocked at the shots that I got. And other photographers that were standing by me, they could see in my viewfinder the shots that I was getting, which helped build the relationships with them, which then gave me access to all of their studios. And the second that I would walk in with a client into their studio or if they had a client and they needed models, they would call me because I had a ton of them, right? I coached models. And they would call me in. And the second I walked in and they would hand me their newest gear, they would take a flash or a remote off of their camera and put it on mine and say, you have to test out this new lighting setup that I got. Wait till you see this. I would never be able to afford all of this stuff, right? But I could walk in and for my client, got to leverage all of that. And I was so geeked. Oh my gosh, like I was so excited. But had I not just taken the hit to go shoot Phoenix Fashion Week for the first time for free, I would have never built all of those relationships. And shout out to Steve Trujillo, because that's a true story. And that was such a dope experience. And even those shots were amazing. Those were for a client. And they went in the lookbook. But they were my shots with all of this gear that I would never been able to achieve on my own with the gear that I had at the time. So, even stuff like that, you just never know. And money should not drive all of your decisions. They just should not.
No. So I have a story. I don't know if it's quite as awesome as your story, but it's still pretty awesome. So my very first year on YouTube, I think it was maybe 9 months into my YouTube career. Obviously at the time I'm doing all these videos and pretty much making no money. I think I wasn't monetized until like month 7 into my YouTube career. So at the point that this happened, I was only like 2 months into being monetized. So I was practically making pennies anyway. So I'm pretty much working for free. But I had a chance to go out to LA for Vid Summit. And while I was out in LA, I had a chance to go meet Jonathan Morrison. Now, mind you, for the first 7 months of my YouTube career, I shot my videos on an iPad Pro. Shot them, recorded them on an iPad Pro. So here I am, 7 months shooting a video with an iPad. I go out to Jonathan Morrison's studio out in LA, and he had a phone that was, I think he had a new phone at the time. I think it was the Pixel 3, and it hadn't come out yet. And I asked him like, John, can I like do a little video with the phone? And he's like, sure. So I pull out my iPhone and I go to start shooting this video. And Morrison, like, he's sitting over there doing some work where he turns around in the chair and he's like, Viper, you want to shoot a real video? I'm like, what? so we go outside and we have, I kid you not, Angelique, if I can like total all my head, probably over $100,000 in video equipment we are dragging outside in this LA night. Over $100,000 of video equipment, including the camera, monitor, light stand, all of it had to be worth over $100,000. So we go out there with $100,000 worth of video equipment, and I'm about to shoot this little video on my little punk iPhone, and it went from that to going out into the streets of LA with $100,000 worth of video equipment, and me and Jonathan ended up shooting a video out in the streets of LA. And in the video, we shot it on his camera, which I think at the time was like an Ari Alexa, and that camera, Angelique, is $60,000 and higher. So, but I'm right. Your eyes tell the story. It's bananas. I literally went from about to be shooting a video on my iPhone, to wheeling a $60,000 camera out to the streets of LA to shoot this video with Jonathan. So craziness.
Okay, let's being exposed to a different experience like that. How does that change you mentally, though? Now, because before, like where you were and what you were okay with, you were perfectly okay with doing it the way that you were about to do it. But now that you've had that experience, how did that change things for you going forward?
It was interesting because it kind of showed me where I could be one day. I don't know if I'll ever be to a point where I'm shooting videos on a $60,000 camera. It's just, then again, I've made other decisions that I think didn't happen either, but that's neither there nor there. But it showed me what was possible. Like I said, for the first 7 months of my YouTube career, I shot videos on an iPad Pro. Now, obviously down the line, I ended up getting cameras, real cameras. Like right now, I'm live streaming on a Sony A7 III, which is not a cheap camera, but it's nothing compared to what we were using that day. But when I went out there and I shot the video with Jonathan on this $60,000 camera and lights, like I said, all of the equipment together probably was like almost $100,000 in total. It was just a whole nother level of video production that I was not exposed to. So I was thinking to myself, damn, if I do it for a long period of time, I could potentially get to this level, like to shoot this type of video with this type of equipment. If I stay in the game and I get better and I keep doing it, eventually one day I might get to that level. So it was a motivating thing for me because like I went from shooting videos on an iPad Pro to Jonathan wheeling out a $60,000 camera on the streets of LA one night, and we ended up shooting that video. Bananas.
Yeah. For me, I feel like if you were to be watching this happen for someone else, it's one thing because you now can have a visual of what that would be like. So that helps you to better identify with what that experience could be if that was a goal, right? Like driving a Ferrari, you say, oh, I'm going to manifest a Ferrari, right? But you don't have any idea what one looks like or sounds like or feels like being inside, right? But I feel like, in terms of creating goals and generating goals, if you can't feel it, if you can't associate and assign an experience to that, then it's easy for you just to drop it off and just let it go if it doesn't work out for you, right? Once you've tasted it, once you smelt it, once you have these emotions tied to that experience, now it's real. Yeah. And if we can do that with everything that we are goaling for, right, then it makes it more obtainable, I feel. I mean, we and that's a whole different topic. We could go on that forever. But what I think is so interesting, though, is like the shift that people have. Because when I first got into photography, my first camera was a Canon 40D, old school. It was a 40D, but it got me a long ways. Like it took me pretty far. I was published 3 days after I purchased that camera, and I bought it used. I was published around the world because I happened to land a celebrity client. I didn't know what I was shooting with. I didn't know that what a Mark II was. I didn't care. I had started off as a modeling coach to help other people pose weight off because I was never a model size, and I just had to learn how to look slimmer in front of a camera when I went to go take pictures because I didn't want to diet. Mm-hmm. That's not me. It's not really my jam. Complaining about diets is my jam, but actually doing the work, I just like food too much. But other women did too, and they wanted to take headshots for their work or whatever it was, and they wanted to feel more confident. And so this developed into my business, over the course of years, and it was almost like a therapy session of talking them through, like, what is this experience that you're having? And then let's associate it with another experience. And every time they went to take photos after that, they had like this whole routine and like mental work that they would do before they go take pictures. And their pictures came out great because of it, right? Mm-hmm. So having those experiences is what helps shape us. So you have this experience and you go from shooting on an iPad to then buying a camera, right? To then it goes into audio, right? And it snowballs from there because you had this experience of like, sheets are the same thing. You buy a really great set of sheets, and then all of a sudden, every other cheap pair of sheets that you're in from that point forward, you're like, oh, but they weren't like those one sheets, right?
It was so funny because when my first Apple Watch that I brought was an aluminum Apple Watch. It was just a normal Apple Watch. Then I think it was in 2018 or 2019, I decided that, you know what, I want a stainless steel Apple Watch. I want to upgrade and see what that experience is like, even though it's completely buffoonery because there's literally no difference besides the materials on the watch. But I brought a stainless steel Apple Watch in 2018, and I'm wearing a stainless steel watch now, not the same watch. But when I brought the stainless steel watch back in 2018, after I had worn that one for a while, I'm like, oh no, I am not going back to aluminum watches anymore. This is my life now. So when I upgraded last year, I brought a stainless steel Apple Watch Series 6. So yeah, when you get that upgrade and you feel how it feels to have that upgrade, it's hard to go back. Like, it's hard to go back.
Right. And I feel like that's where we are as creators too. Once you start improving and once you start realizing there's all these tools are out here and I've just not been using them. have the first experience of it's really not that hard to learn. Now you have no excuses. Now you've had this experience, or let somebody else edit one of your videos and you go like, holy cow, right? Or you see somebody else's channel and you go, wow, I've never seen this editing technique like this before. Or I really like how they did that. And all of a sudden it's stuck in your brain that now you can't go back to unseeing that. You have to level up because you've experienced it, which is kind of like a double-edged sword because it's almost like a healthy sickness to have.
Yeah, but at the same time, as a creator, as you know, you have to level up because you can't stay stagnant. You can't be complacent because that's how you get left behind. So as a creator, like you said, it's a healthy sickness, but it's necessary. You have to want to level up as a creator because that's the only way that we get better.
Yeah. Healthy sickness. I'm getting that on a t-shirt. Viper Live talking about healthy sicknesses on YouTube Friday night. Yeah, I love what Charles just said too.
You crack me up, man. You crack me up, bro. You crack me up. I'll tell you, once you go stainless steel Apple Watch, you don't go back, man. It's hard to go. I can't go back to aluminum. I can't do it. Let's see. What Charles say? That's one of the for local master when we working taking a trip to the Masters National. Oh yeah, yep.
He said, "Put me in, coach." It's that difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes, James. Like you can't unsee it. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And I'm going to say that this goes for your circle of influence too, right? Like the concept of you don't know what you don't know, which is like almost like ignorance is bliss, because sometimes it's great that you don't know things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're not like spending 4 hours on Amazon and have 300 things in your cart that you've saved for later so you don't forget them because somebody mentioned it, things like that. But hanging out with more tech tubers, even just with you, Viper, I'm going to say easily our friendship has costed my household $2,000.
What? With me? I did nothing.
Hold on. I might need to actually text my husband real quick and ask him if that's a low figure. I'm pretty sure that's a low figure.
Hey,
if we were to add it all up, friendship with you is expensive, Viper.
I did not. I am innocent. I did nothing. But Adam, are you talking about the Q35? Because I've heard about the Q35 that are launched, and I wonder if those are the ones that you're talking about. If not, you can correct me. But yeah, that's pretty cool. What do you mean? Okay. I did not tell you. Actually, no. Did I tell you about something? Oh, I did, didn't I? Shit.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. It's not even that. Like, get you, El Jefe, and Renee in a room, and it's not that you guys are talking about you should go buy this, or you're not cool if you don't have it, Angelique. Like, you don't make me feel that way. So that's not what this is. What this is I'm going, hey, I have a problem and I need it to be completely solved. And when I would normally go out and just buy like the cheapest option, because I'm a cheapskate like that in general, especially when I'm buying things online, because I'm probably not going to return stuff. So I just want to make sure, like, if I only have to pay this much, like, why pay more? Like, you know what I mean? Why pay more?
Does this mean that you're going to make the switch that we talked about the other day?
So we've added an internet line. It's going to go in next week. So that's happening. They're running new cables, whatever they need to do. I'm like, get it done. Viper said, this is not going to work. Get this out of here. Get this DSL. Get it out.
Get it out.
Yeah. So I did get that. I have had so many solutions, but it's also taken away my excuses, because I had excuses before, and now I've thoroughly enjoyed my getting myself set up. I literally can just walk in here, hit a button, and record. Boom, it's done. I have everything that I need.
Isn't that the best? I love like having a setup where I can just sit down and turn the instruments on, and boom, I'm gone. The beautiful thing.
I'm not setting stuff up. I'm not measuring lighting. I'm not having to move things and then readjust things. I can just sit down, turn it on, start recording. And I mean, after I do hair and all this stuff, like I'm tired. I'm ready for a nap. I'm not trying to set stuff up. I'm just going to be honest about that. The law of diminishing returns. Well, explain that. Explain that.
I think he's alluding to like buying gear. Like there's only so much gear you can buy where it's actually going to do something for you before you get to a point where it doesn't matter. I think that.
Okay. Here's the problem though. When you do try to go set yourself up, you've bought like a camera. Like I just bought a Canon 90D. I just happen to like this sensor and I'm a Canon person, so I'm not going to go full frame, but I did get that 90D. My husband's using the 80D and my son is using my 7D, which you can't use for video because of that weird like recording overheating thing. But the setup that I had to do to try to use my camera as the webcam, right? Then I need to have like a microphone, a good one, because I can't use my lavalier. I'm tired of being wired in. I tried to get a Bluetooth one and there's like connection issues and latency and all this other stuff. Then I learned 2 days ago about ground loops. There's some science involved. And I tried to explain it to my husband. He was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, well, I read some stuff and I'm pretty sure that's my problem. Could you come in here and help me? And he was like, it's hard to help you because you don't know what you're talking about. But I was pretty confident that I knew what I was talking about. And he came in here and he was like, yeah, no, you do know what it is you're saying. So, which is surprising because normally I'm like, hey, can you just do some science, run the numbers, figure it out, need it done. And it was the power cord going into my laptop that was causing this insane amount of feedback in my recordings. Ooh. Ground loops, science. And I figured it out and I got this stuff, but law of diminishing returns with this little, can we see this here?
Yep.
Are we getting brand deal options here? Won't focus. I don't know. Anyhow, MPOW is what it says. This little guy had to put one on him. I had to put one on coming from my camera to the computer. Gone. Totally gone. But I already spent all this money, right, on all this gear. Some of it I already had, but those this little $12 thing solved this problem that I didn't even know I was going to have. And that's why having tech friends matter.
Tech friends matter, people.
I took a shortcut to the end there.
Whatever worked.
Canon, step back. I'm in the mind frame, buy once, don't buy twice. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you're trying things out and some things don't matter if they're expensive. I'm not a big, huge fan of lighting kits in that way because I feel like sometimes fancier lighting kits don't really do anything unless you're talking about flash photography or like, anyway, it doesn't matter. We won't go down that rabbit hole. But I do think that it does matter. And having people who know what they're talking about can really help you take those shortcuts. You really helped me with this whole internet situation that I was having, getting set up. I don't know if you remember when I first came in, when I first met you, we were up on stage talking about my viewfinder and trying to find different options of being able to increase the size of a live view. Yeah, we went over all kinds of options and you guys just have experience that I would have taken me weeks to research. So
that's why we are here. We're here to make the best decisions for you.
Thank you, Viper.
Of course. It's funny you talk about lighting because I remember last year when I got my Godox light that I currently use, I was thinking about getting the Aperture 120D. And I remember people were like, no, Viper, no, you don't have to spend all the money on a light. Look at the Godox. It's a hell of a lot cheaper and it works just as well. I'm glad I made that decision because Godox has been holding down. It worked damn good. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper than the Aperture.
Yeah. What do you have right now? Do you have an Octabox?
No, I have the Godox XL, the XL60.
Oh, okay.
But I'll think, like I said, I'll think about getting the Aperture 120, which at the very minimum is $800, and that's before the dome and the stand and all that stuff. The whole Gold Eye setup cost me, I think, $350, I believe. So yeah, much cheaper.
Yeah. I think that sometimes, lighting for guys and lighting for girls are two completely different journeys. It really, really is. Lighting for age, lighting for skin tones, all of those things matter. And just in general, your space, like you have that nice light behind you to help with some of that. So
you know what those are, Angelique? You enlarge it real quick. Those are Christmas lights. That's all they are.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I use Christmas lights in some areas of my house still, just because I like the light. Like LEDs don't look the same to me. So I like that. That's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. Lighting for glasses also. Yeah, no, this is a serious thing, because of those glasses, even if you get the ones that say that they're like glare free, no, they are not.
Yeah, once the light hits them, the law of the refraction take over. Not much you can do about that.
Yeah. Headphones. That's a good one. We could really go down this rabbit hole, huh? But I felt like a tech god setting all this stuff up. I really impressed my husband.
Or non-techie person, you are adeptly techie. I don't know. I don't know if I believe you when you say you're not a tech person. I don't know if I believe you. No.
You know what it is? I'm a professional problem solver. Everything that I do, marketing to everything that I do, is just in finding ways to solve problems. So I don't think that it's necessarily that I'm not a tech person. It's that I am interested in learning, and I love to learn to solve problems, but I don't understand certain things. And that's where my husband was like, you cannot do that. Like, you can't plug this into this, because he was like, please believe me. And I was like, look, they look the same. And he was like, no, these are the things that you really do have to research. Then you have to look this up if you're wanting to do this. And he was trying to explain it to me. And I was like, I don't know. It looks like we can. And he was like, no, you need to stop, because this could kill you, start a fire. I don't know. You might not want to.
Oh God, you're gonna burn it down, literally.
Yeah, so some things require extra information, but what I do appreciate is just being able to understand, like, leveraging the resources of other people and being able to jump on YouTube and find some solutions that are faster. But hey, if people aren't out there putting solutions out there for others to find, then so I encourage everybody to think of that. Like, what are some things, could I have put this whole process together as a video? Would have really helped somebody, right? Mm-hmm. We need more of that, by the way, like how to set up your webcam as your camera as your webcam with the audio and the whole thing. We need more of those, by the way. If I could I know you have tech tubers that watch you. Let's get some more of those up. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't remember if I asked you this before, but are you iOS or Android? Which one do you use?
Oh,
wow, that face. Holy shit. Okay. So are you going to get yourself an AirTag 4?
Okay. I lose stuff all the
time. Wow. Okay. Let me get my popcorn ready for this explanation here. Okay.
I do. I lose stuff all the time, but I don't go anywhere now. So I would just be getting them to find things around my house. Like, I heard people say they were going to put it on their remotes or stuff like that. Here's what I want. This is what I want. This is the Apple event I need in my life. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you see this? Mm-hmm. Can we, there we go. There we go. It was there for a second. This is that cover I was telling you about, right? Mm-hmm. The lens cover. And I'm going to send you a picture of what it looks like when I take a picture, but I was hoping I could get up real close and show you how jacked up and chipped it is, because you guys said, and Renee, he was even like, just take it off. Just don't have it on there, because I get this weird like ghosting effect, like a reflection from the glass when I'm taking video or photos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really weird. That's what we need. We need those solutions because this thing is so chipped up from me dropping it so many times that I can't not have it on there and it protrudes out. So like I want the camera, I want the tech, I want all the features. I need it to be protected. So it's not a matter of like losing it.
Okay.
What do you have on yours?
Oh, this is just the apple leather cake, but if you look very closely at the lens on the camera, let me see if I can get the lighting here. There you go. So the lens, Angelique, these camera lenses are made of sapphire glass. And I don't know if you're familiar with sapphire, but it is very, very difficult to break and crack. It's pretty difficult to do that. Sapphire is hard. So when we tell you to take the damn lens cover off and you'll be fine, you can literally take the lens cover off and you'll be fine because the camera lenses themselves are made of sapphire glass. And you ain't messing with sapphire glass. It's not happening.
Okay, here's the thing though. People say things like that and then they'll be like, so how did you break it? Like what could you possibly have been doing? And I'm like, I just was getting out of the car and it fell and it hit the one particular way. That's my life. I'm the one particular way.
Do you understand the odds?
In good ways and in bads.
Those will be astronomical odds.
Okay, I'll take it off. But I mean, right now it's so jacked up. I'm afraid this is what my lens is going to look like. Tricam with the what? No, mine has a lip too, Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, I got the lip too. I do.
That's the other thing I'm going to tell you. If you have it in the case anyway, that whole camera housing is going to be protected by the lip. So I don't think you have to worry as much as you're worrying about it.
Okay, well, I mean, how about this? Can we all agree that if I take it off and I put this risk that if my lens busts on one of these drops, like, I don't know, I'm in Arizona, so we got a lot of desert landscaping, lots of rocks, lots of big rocks. And I don't know, can I come back on here? Can we start a GoFundMe for a new phone if that happens? How do you take it off, by the way? This isn't normal. Like
you might have to take the case off first, or is it part of the case?
No, it's just like glued on there.
Oh, you glued it on there?
No, I just used it regular.
Oh, well, you should be able to take it off. Take it off just like you put it on. You should be able to take it off.
All right, I'll try it. All right. Well, I still want to know.
But for a photography bug like yourself, I think your life would be a lot better once you take off that lens cover.
Yeah, I'm going to try it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I just am feeling really nervous. I'm feeling nervous about it.
I'm guessing you do not have Apple Care on your phone.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you have Apple Care?
Yeah, we still have to pay. Okay, here it is.
All right, so now it's gone. Now you freedom. Woo!
Free at last.
Now, go out there and take some pictures without that crappy lens. There you go.
All right. Well, it happened here. This is where it happened.
Finally.
I've got the record. The peer pressure. The pressure. As long as Gorilla Glue. Oh my God.
Oh Lord. But yeah.
Taps for James for that comment.
Mike, man, you are killing me with this microphone. Wow.
If I went places, I would totally do this just to see who is in Clubhouse or not. Yeah, but this just makes it better. Okay, question still stands. I don't know how much more time you've got here, but question still stands for anybody who's watching for what I asked before, and that is if someone were willing to share their data, their analytics from their channel, from their backend, even if it were a particular video, someone who you shared an audience with, you would benefit from that data, or at least be curious or interested in that data. Like most people would probably pay to see the back end of Mr. Beast's channel. Like whether that would benefit them or not, they would just want to see it, right? Just entertainment at that point.
Ooh,
would you pay
Joseph
for it?
With the hard question. Joseph got the hard question for you, Angelique. Ooh. That is actually a good question. That is a very good question.
Okay, is there a wrist strap? Are we
I
there?
mean,
They
I'm pretty sure there's a way that you can. There are occasions that have like the lanyard hole that you can put a wrist strap like that thing on there, and yeah, that would pretty much solve your problem.
like a necklace, like a phone
like
necklace. Is
a
this
wrist
like?
strap.
Wait a second, Joseph. Is this like the equivalent of like the granny glasses that have the straps on the side? This is how I'm feeling at this point.
Well, what he's saying is that if you're so worried about dropping the phone, if you have it attached to your wrist, you're not dropping it.
Yeah, this is true. I think I might look into that actually. I just need to be a big girl. Hold my phone. Just make sure. Don't drop it.
Hold it
Question
tight.
still stands though. So I want to throw that out there one more time. That's all.
All good. So actually, you know what? Let's make this easy. We don't really have a lot of people watching that, but that's fine. For those of y'all that are in the chat that are creators, if you would pay to have access to someone's data like Angelique is talking about, put a 1 in the chat, basically. If you wouldn't pay or you wouldn't be interested, put a 2 in the chat. So again, what we were talking about earlier, what Angelique was talking about earlier, if you would pay to have access to somebody's data, back-end data on YouTube, if you're a creator, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. And if you don't care or you wouldn't pay, put a 2 in the chat. We can see how y'all are thinking in real time. So we got 1-1. Okay, we got 1-1. All right. She said, don't lie.
Yeah, see? Marquez, if he had his data, how much you pay, James, for Marquez's data?
No, Marquez's data would not help James because they are on completely different ends of the spectrum. Like that data would do nothing for you, bro.
The question was not if it would help you. The question is if you would pay for it. Yeah, if you would pay for just to see if it was available, would you pay?
That would like literally be the equivalent of me like buying a wig to look like Angelique's beautiful head of hair. Like it wouldn't do anything for your boy Viper. It wouldn't work.
Viper, if you would pay to see Viper in a wig.
Don't you even. I know where you clubhouse, Angelique.
If you would pay to see Viper in a wig that looks like mine, put a 1.
I will send my people for you.
Put a 3 if you would pay to see Viper in a wig.
She comes up missing, y'all. Don't blame Viper. Don't blame me.
He has a super chat button. Okay, I think they're wanting to pay now. They're wanting to prepay for this. That's what I'm taking this as. He said
moment. I think they do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will get that. Depends on how much.
So you got it seems like some people are willing to pay for that data. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the new thing. And I think also that if somebody has a brand new channel and they're looking to compare it to a smaller channel just to be able to see how audiences are performing, brands could pay for this, right? Just to be able to see how long, like, this is a smaller channel, this is a larger channel, and if a brand can subscribe and they could see how long your retention is, for instance, they could then negotiate a rate for putting their ad roll at the end or putting it in the beginning. But you would also be able to prove that, right? That it's more valuable in the beginning.
Yeah, brand would definitely pay for that data. And Adam, I know where you work, Adam. I know where you work. You better behave.
For me, I think the comments are coming in like later than what you're seeing, maybe.
Yeah, because you're probably watching it from the actual stream, so it's a slight delay.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with the wig, and I'm with the data, and I think that this is going to become something that's new. I'm willing to pioneer this initiative and start. We'll have to brand it something, but I think how about this? Would you, if you're willing to pay for the data, would you be willing to sell your data?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Viper?
Maybe as long as I can keep all personal information like out of it. Probably,
yeah.
maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, just screenshots, right, of your back end, like your impressions, your click-through rates, whatever it is that you want to share, they could get a screenshot of that in an email blast once a month or once a week or whatever it is that you negotiate for whatever it is the rate that you're charging for. The data revolution, pretty much. I mean, because really at that point, then we're no longer at the mercy of the algorithm as much, right? We're not just shooting in the dark as much. Things like being consistent and quality content, like those types of phrases can start to form and mature into like more specific details. I think we can start to have those conversations knowing what other people are experiencing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
You can pay for something like El Jefe's steak kick. What does he do? El Jefe, what does he do?
He is a customer service representative for VidIQ.
See? He sees a lot of data.
Oh, yeah, he sees a lot of data. Y'all, Genosis, you're out of your mind, but I love you, though. You're still out of your mind, though.
Oh, my gosh.
You're out of your mind.
How much would you pay for that, Genesis? We're asking for a friend.
Genosis, you wouldn't pay for that, bro. You don't want that. You don't want that stuff.
How much would he pay, though? I'm just curious what the going rate is for Viper in a wig. This might be like a big Viper roast. You might blow up and all of a sudden we have a panel.
Your boy Viper is aerodynamic for a reason. You can't mess with the aerodynamics of the Viper. You can't do that.
Nice. I like that. Well, I mean, this is a good contrast, a good mix. I got the hair. You don't have any.
You have the beautiful head of hair. I have the aerodynamic. We make it work.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay.
We did that.
But,
I'm Angelique and I'm done speaking.
She's done. But I got to begin to land a plane because I'm going to try to hold my Twitter patience here in about 27 minutes. So I appreciate all of y'all hanging out for Friday Night Viper. So thank you very much, Angelique. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for making time. Always a pleasure talking to you in Clubhouse, on live, wherever we chat. Always a pleasure. Yes.
And thank you so much for having me. I'm just honored to come and share space with you tonight, Viper, as always.
Oh, we would definitely do it again sometime, but I'm not wearing a wig. Just to let you know.
Well, no, it's all good. But hey, how much would you charge for your data, though? Would you sell it? That's all I'm asking. Still want to know. We can carry this conversation on, but thank you again so much for having me. And thanks for the chat, everyone, and the feedback. Really appreciate you.
No idea how much I'll charge for my data, but that's an interesting question, though. Yeah, it's the whole data thing is very, very interesting. But yeah, we'll have to think about it, and we'll probably have to revisit it for another day or night. Yep. But until the next time, people, this your boy Viper, the man about tech. You know where to find me, so come back for more.